someone that's into making your own art, that's like, purposeful, and particularly if you draw like from life or anything like that, I'd really recommend just giving yourself a break and drawing these sort of non-forms and seeing what comes out. Like just letting shapes run away with themselves and seeing what happens. Like the only real rule that I have when I'm doing these things is that they're always closed shapes, and the reason for that is so that I can colour them in, and it makes sense. I mean, I could still colour in and around if they weren't closed shapes, but I like when I'm colouring for that to be the really simple part, other than using colours. I like it to just be kind of giving life to something that's already there. I've thought about doing the doodling while filming and talking, but I think the actual process of doodling really does turn off my brain, so I don't think I could talk to you while I'm doing that. Maybe, but who knows what I'll be saying. Oh, this bit is a bit confused. Oh, I think I've broken my rules here. I'm just gonna colour the whole thing in because I think that there's like the wrong number of lines, and it's not an enclosed shape. So yeah, wow, don't look there. What else can we do? A little bit of green here. I love a good curly, windy, loopy round loop, particularly as a curly-haired person. Maybe it's just a little bit of me, but I don't have green hair. I guess you're wondering. Right, a little bit more green. Yeah. It is extremely hot in the UK right now. I'm not really a fan of it. I know a lot of people are. Some people are loving it. I'm not. To me, it is ominous and doom-like. But I'm okay. I keep my blinds closed during all parts of the day and keep hydrated and have a mini fan when I need it. I am also a big proponent of watching the sunny weather and sun celebrations occur from a safely shaded spot. Trees are wonderful, and you will never appreciate them so much as when they are protecting you from sizzling like an egg, which they often are doing these days. Yeah. You will find me relaxing in shaded spots by water, often with a book. This time of year, and that is how I like it. Right. A little bit of orange, and I might do a little bit of a turquoisey colour, and a little bit of pink. Yeah. Oh. It's a bit of a bobbly bit on the pen. Don't know if that's helped or hindered. I felt like I shouldn't do that, but I don't know why. They're my pens. I make the rules. Okay. Guess I've got a little bit of ink on my hand, but I'm sure that's entirely survivable. Okay. Ooh, this looks, now that it's kind of orangey, it looks a little bit like devil horns, which isn't quite how I imagined it, but I thought I imagined it sort of bright and kind of caricature-y flowers, don't they? Yeah, you know what? It's good. It's good. You know what? Actually, I love the green and the orange, especially here. Look. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think this kind of these greens and oranges would be cool for glasses frames. If anyone is a glasses frame designer, if you are, then don't worry about work. Just relax with it about work. This is an ASMR video. You don't need to be stressing yourself out. Okay. Oh, yeah, I set myself up for a rest for ramble, and I'm finding that my mind is quite quiet, which is unusual for me. Maybe I should try another whisper ramble at night, or no, I think mornings are good. I will just need to get back into practice. I've been living my silent life, or you know, in an audible video, it's not so, well, in some ways it's more intimate, but it's not so intimate as a really sharing the thread of my thoughts and even kind of going through the thread of my thoughts while we also go through the thread of whatever these things are. Okay. Yeah. Nice little orangey S. Nice little orangey snake. Oh. Yesterday, a friend of mine was showing me how to back away a garden hose effectively. It's a very specific scenario. And she was showing me the way that when you finish using it, it kind of contracts. I think it's one of the mesh ones rather than the rubber ones. And yeah, it was green as well, so I was just watching it go kind of, well, it didn't make a noise, but in my mind it did. Watching it kind of pull itself together and contract, so that it took otherwise if you buy whole carton of fruit, there's kind of pressure to eat it all in one go, or like in a couple of days before it goes off, and then sometimes you can't. But just, yeah, berries freeze really well, so you can just have frozen berries available for long periods of time, and then you always have fruit when you need it. So I've been using that as like a frozen berry mix. It's got all kinds of berry, and then I've had my porridge every morning, and then I've had 4 different plant varieties before I've even started my day. And you know, you're meant to have something like 30 or 40 different plants a week, or they say 5 a day, but I think that was just 5 a day was something that was a compromise between what scientists recommended people should actually have and what governments thought they could persuade people to have. So, you know, don't shoot 5 a day as the ceiling, shoot for the moon. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so I always have frozen berries anyway, but oh my gosh, in the summer I've stopped. Instead of eating a porridge, I just kind of have cold porridge, and like the berries sort of like slightly melt in with things, and then it's kind of almost slushy porridge. It sounds disgusting. It isn't. I'm having a great time. Especially if you mix in a few different things with different consistencies. But I've gone a step further beyond even just frozen berries and in my porridge, or just